Hey everyone, welcome to Bobini Creates. My name is Jeannie, and in today's video, I wanted to share with you my completed pages for the month of June 2025. Today is currently July the 3rd, and I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do this before it the month goes by any faster, So um, my house isn't going to get any quieter, so yeah, let's just dive in and do this thing. So first up is A Million Sloths, and this was a buddy color with my friend Jody over at JI Colorist, and we chose this page that I'm going to call Pasta Buddies, and this was actually my first page that I did of the month. I'm not showing them to you in the order that I colored them, but this coincidentally was my first page, and I started it. I just didn't finish it until later on in the month, but it was, I could have done it a lot quicker than I did. I just didn't. It's really just acrylic paint pens and just the tiniest little bit of pencil here and there for some shading. And it made me smile. It was a cute little page. Let me show you hers. I thought hers was awesome. I love that even though we used kind of the same colors for the most part, they're so different. Like her cans remind me of those Campbell's soup labels, and I thought that was so cool, and it just never even occurred to me to do that. But anyway, I thought our pages turned out great, and it's always fun to do a buddy color with Jody. So thank you, Jody. And let's go ahead and take a look at the next book. Okay, this one is from Goblin Core, and this one was for my hashtag coloring dads and dudes 2025, kind of celebrating Father's Day. And so this one was a cool one to do because it was done with Crayola crayons. I posted this over on Instagram and tagged Christine from Cat and Paste. Oh my gosh, if you guys haven't seen her channel or her Instagram, she's amazing. She is an artist, and she uses Crayola crayons a lot for her coloring, and they are, I mean, it's gonna blow your mind pretty much. She's just so good. So yeah, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try that. I didn't even have any Crayolas, so I had to buy them. It's been like years and years since I have had a pack of them, so I went ahead and bought some and colored this little guy, and I had so much fun. Um, I used just the tiniest little bit of grabby watercolor for the some of it, just little bits here and there, but that was one part I remembered was his little collar, and some of the darker pinks that you see here and there. One thing I was surprised at with, I was able to do layering with the crayons, but I was actually surprised. I remembered crayons as being so much more vibrant than when I was coloring this. Now, keep in mind, this is my first attempt at adult coloring, with Crayola crayons. But yeah, as a kid, I remember thinking that they were just so bright and bold, and they really kind of are a lot more subtle than I thought they were, which isn't a bad thing at all, really. But it was just an interesting perspective. Maybe because the paper's smoother, maybe those older coloring books that we used to use as kids had more of a tooth to it. I'm not really sure what that was, but it just felt different than I remembered it. But that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it just was different. But I will say that I will for sure be doing it again, just because I had a blast, and I just didn't worry about it. I just had fun, and that's kind of the idea, and it's really kind of what I needed. I needed a page just to have some big time old fashioned fun. So yeah, this was awesome. So check out her channel, and also check out Joanna Stone's Creative Corner here on YouTube. She does some work with crayons, and she does a really good job as well, and so yeah, just good inspiration for me, and it was something different, which I really enjoyed. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Okay, so next up is Fairy Tales and Folklore, and this is by Emily Lidahall Oberg. And this is another one I did for my own hashtag, the Coloring Dads and Dudes 2025. Trying to rock my own hashtag there. But seriously, thank you for those of you who did join in, because it really helped me get some pages of, guys done, which was kind of the idea, because I tend to not color a lot of those. So it was a nice change for me. But this one, let's see. Let me turn the page. Oh, I remember. I started off with a background, which I don't always remember to do, but I did that here using soft pastels. So I did that, and then there's some places where I went over it with pencil, just thinking that it could stand to be a little bit more vibrant here and there. So I went ahead and did that. I used Prismas for the pencils. I used a little bit of gel pen, a little bit of acrylic paint pen, like for example, this gold here, and not very many places there. And I'm thinking this was as well, this little color, turquoise colored decorative piece on the lantern. I think that one was as well. I think that might be it. Yeah, just the paint pens and the chalk pastels and the Prismas. But I love this one. This one I had a lot of fun with, and I'm proud of the way it came out. I think kind of my vision came to life, which is always kind of a cool thing when that happens. I really liked the background. I liked it was kind of soft and wispy and magical. And I liked the lantern. I kind of wanted more of a wrought iron look as opposed to, like, a lot of times I'll just default to like a gold metallic item, and this was different for me, so that was sort of fun to do. But really, I liked it. I thought it turned out really well, if I do say so myself. And I think he's super cute. And I always love coloring in this book. The paper's so nice. So nice. So yeah, that was fun. All right. And next up, we have, oh yeah, Summer Nights. So, I've been trying to kind of work on this a bit. Let me adjust my camera a second, just a sec. Okay, so Summer Nights, and you might remember I've been really trying to focus on this book a lot. I didn't work on it last month in May because I was doing mermaid things, but I decided to pull this out, and I did this little Owl King, and it was a blast. So this one I used oil pastel for the background. This is another one that I did the background first, and I'm glad I did because it is messy. I use a spray fixative, so I did the background, and then I added a little bit more here and there, and maybe a little bit of pencil here and there where I thought it needed it. Oh, the other thing I did is I went around the owl first with a acrylic marker, just so that I wouldn't have to try to get in all those little tiny spots with the oil pastels. So that worked out really well. And then I used my fixative a couple times just to kind of, workable fixative, so that I could then continue on top with the other things that I used. So I used acrylic markers elsewhere as well. Actually, a majority of it, except for the crystals, I based with the acrylic markers, and then I just went over that with some pencil, and I did a little bit of the Yahoooo gel ink. This gold I did for the crown, and the white I used, here and there for the crystals and whatnot. But this was fun, and I was pleased with the way it came together, the way it turned out, and yeah, that was a good one. I will say they are so messy, and I'm gonna show you the page prior. As careful as I was, I still got stuff on it. So I'm gonna have to go back in here and clean that up a bit. It's not a big deal, but I'll make it work. We certainly have enough materials to be able to cover things up, and it's fine. I'm not trying to get stressed about it, but I was a little bit annoyed when that happened. But I thought he was a cutie. And so just the tiniest little bit of the metallic from that Ohuhu gel pen here and there that you see. And yeah, another one that I was pleased with. So this one is Entangled Dragonflies. It's a Creative Haven book, and this one is by Angela Porter. And it's funny, I always say that I'm not that crazy about, Zen doodle type things, but for some reason I have really enjoyed this book, and I think it's just like mindless fun, and that's why it's been sort of a blast. And I was surprised that I've actually completed quite a lot of pages, and I'll show you in a moment here. But my best friend Angie got me this book a long time ago, and I kind of use it like a palette cleanser, if you will, where if I have a more difficult page, then I'll be like, you know what, okay, now I need a break, and so let's just do something that I don't have to think about. I'll just use limited colors and limited supplies and um, whatever. And it just is what happened here, and I love it, you know. Nothing fancy about it. It's really just I used fine liners, some jelly roll, and just the tiniest little bit of pencil to shade just in that center part. But you might be able to see a little bit of the metallic elements on it. Not much, just on the borders mostly and the outside of the dragonflies. But yeah, that was fun. Actually, let me just show you real quick. Like, I mean, I've had this book forever, but yeah, I was kind of surprised going through it that I had completed a lot. I forgot about that. Anyway, there might be some at the other end of the book too. Yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, fun book. And okay, so next up we have Moon Valley. And this is probably the one that I did second in the month. And I felt like I had messed up on it. And so I set it to the side until later on in the month. And I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. So I did this one. And this one was, let's see here. I used Neocolor 2 for the background. Well, really kind of for most of the, yeah, really, I think everything is pretty much a base layer of the Neocolor 2. And then I came in with what kind of pencils here? With Prismas, I used a little bit of white acrylic pen and a little bit of fine liner and some Tombos, you know, too, for some of the little, I think I did that like on the leaves and stuff just to kind of get in those little areas. What I didn't like about this is it was coming along nicely and everything with the background. I was real pleased with it. But then when I went to do the fox, I realized that he was a very similar color to the way I had the background. So I had to go back in with pencil and just sort of deepen that up. So I ended up changing the background just so that he stood out more. He was blending in too much. I still think it worked, you know, but it put me off for a little while in completing it just because of that. But overall, I think, you know, it's all right. And I really always love coloring in these books. Her illustrations are just so precious. So that's that. And then, oh yeah, here we go. This one is a buddy color. Just a second. So this is a buddy color with my friend Shelly Weaver. She's weaver.shelly over on Instagram. And we chose this sort of sunflower mandala sort of page. And let me see what I did here. Oh, and this was the first page that I've actually completed in this book. So that was a huge help to be able to do this as a buddy color. So thank you, Shelly. So this would count towards T and Lavella's Color Your Horde June 2025. And I need to post that on Instagram and tag them as well. But anyway, so what I did here is I used a metallic paint, acrylic paint, I guess. Anyway, for the background. And it doesn't photograph well because of all the shiny, you know, it makes it shiny, so it's kind of weird to photograph. I used metallic paint pens for the edging of it as well. I use little glitter gel pens in a color similar to the background, just so I could get in all those little details. What else did I do here? I used Spearer Farben and Sioux colors for my pencils. I used some gel pens. Yeah, I already said the metallic paint and some fine liners. So that was it. So I had fun coloring it. I don't know that I love it or anything like that, but I was glad to have a page done in this book. And I always enjoy, you know, my buddy colors with Shelley. And I also am happy that I broke into this book. So Not my favorite, but it's okay. I will, however, show you Shelly's page over here, and I think she did just a really pretty job. But I think she did just a really beautiful job. She always does. And as always, it's just so much fun to color with her. So thank you, Shelly, so much for another buddy color this month. And then next up, we have Romantic Country, and this one is the first tale. This is also a Color Your Horde June 2025, or CYH is their actual hashtag for T. Ann Lavella's challenge or hashtag that they have every month. So yeah, I was happy to get one done in here. This was another one for my Color Dads and Dudes. Actually, let me do this. Color Dads and Dudes 2025. And this was kind of thinking of my own dad because he loved to fish. And so I purposely picked this one because of that. And really enjoyed coloring. It was a nice tranquil sort of page to color, which really made it enjoyable for me. This one I used Sucolor pencils, acrylic paint pens, and grabby watercolors. The grabby watercolors pretty much for a base for everything. Oh, and the background, it was soft pastel. So um, yeah, that one. I had no idea how I was going to do it. And I wasn't real jazzed about doing all the brickwork, but in the end, it was a real fun page. I was also not jazzed about doing the water because that can be tricky, but I kind of like it, and yeah, it was super fun. So glad to have one completed here. And then my last page of the month, and gosh, I guess I did more than I thought I did. I really I was sort of, you know, ragging on myself because I was like, gosh, you didn't really color very much this month, but I did a respectable amount, I'll say. I'm not disappointed. So this one is Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. This is my project book with Jana from Color and Create with Jana. And we chose to do this fruit mandala probably because it kind of aligned with, summer vibes. And this is another one where I thought ours would look very, very similar because, you can only color certain things, certain colors if you're, trying strawberry red, banana yellow, that type of thing. Um, but still, we really did them quite different. And I had a lot of fun with this. It took me a while to do it. But let me just tell you, when I saw Jana's page, I was like, what? Hers looks so realistic. So I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you here. But she was like spot on all the little bits to make it look realistic. I don't know how she did it, but she like worked a little bit of magic here because she is that good. So anyway, it was a fun one. It was great to color that with her. And actually, I've had a lot of fruit so far this month and trying to eat a little healthier. So this was a nice little inspiration for that as well. So anyway, thank you so much, Jana, for coloring in this book every month. We're doing great. We're doing great. We're doing it. We're making progress. So that is it for me. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for the people that did join in on my hashtag. That made it super fun for me as well. And yeah, thanks for hanging out while I was able to share my pages with you. It was a lot of fun having a little chit chat. And for those of you in the US, I want to wish you a happy 4th of July. Be safe, have lots of fun, have great barbecue if that's what you're doing, whatever you're doing. I hope it's awesome. And for everybody who doesn't celebrate, I hope you just have a wonderful weekend. And I hope your July coloring is epic. So I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye now.